Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And today we're going to compare the little known brand of Amazon to Drip Network or Forex Shark projects. And all of you out here, I'm sure, are quite familiar with Amazon, the brand, and the, e-commerce giant that it is now. But you may not be familiar with its humble beginnings and its 95% price correction that it sustained after the dot-com bubble burst. And the reason I bring that up is because, like I mentioned before, we're all betting on Forex. Just like some people bet on Bezos, and the ones that bet against him lost. So if you're not familiar, the rags to riches story of Jeff Bezos, highly recommend you do some research. It's amazing what he built and what he started with the idea of it. So he left Wall Street and then decided he was going to build an online bookstore. This is during the early 90s to mid 90s when bookstores were prominent to be in physical locations. And Amazon started out, you may not even be aware if you're young, started out as literally just a bookstore. And he was trying to get rights to the books and be able to publish them online, and went through a lot of red tape, multiple lawsuits, all sorts of stuff. But the site jumped off in the beginning, 16 million revenue, 180,000 customers. Sounds very similar to Drip. We got to 100,000 customers in our first year as well. And Barnes & Noble tried to sue them. They were one of the largest booksellers. They were making $2 billion a year in revenue, insanely much higher than what Amazon was doing. But they tried to sue them because Amazon was calling themselves the Earth's biggest bookstore. And then fast forward to the dot-com bubble burst, and basically Amazon stocks plummeted. This says more than 90%. It was actually closer to 95%. We can look at that on this chart here. Decided to pull it up. So we had, I ran the numbers already, but it's like 533 or something like that. When you can actually see it, 533, and down here at its low was down to like 30 cents. If you run the numbers, it's about 95%. Let's pull that up. All right, just so you know. So we had 30 and $0.304. Somewhere I saw that down here. There it is, 0.304, and we had 530. Very hard to get this in here. 533, right? So we do on our calculator 0.304 divided by 5.33, 0.05. So subtract that from 100, you see that it was 95% or 94.3%, whatever you want to call that, right? So, but we all know what happened afterwards. Amazon is now over $1 trillion in market value, and even after their year of being 80% down for the year, they started to basically come out of this about 2 years later. Now, I'm not saying Drip's going to take that long, but the point of this story is to show you that when you have someone who's innovative and betting against the grain and against the norm, you have the possibilities to make life-changing gains. It's one thing to bet against the crowd and be wrong. That just means you're stupid and ignorant. But to bet against the crowd and be right means that you have the capabilities of making industry disruptive changes. And I believe that's what Drip is trying to do. The reason I brought this up is because anytime you scroll through CoinMarketCap, you'll find the trolls and the people that are bearish on the network. And I totally get that when you're on the outside looking in and it seems like things are just not being developed and you're wondering when this is going to be launched, when the next thing, and it seems like there's just delay after delay after delay. But if you've been following Forex for any period of time, if you dug into his past, if you listen to his other AMAs, if you see his work history, then you will come to the conclusion that he's not trying to rug the project or steal money. He's actually trying to innovate. And if you believe that he's actually trying to innovate and do something different, then you have to be willing to do like people did with Bezos and just bet on his ability to innovate. Don't wreck yourself and could have done what somebody did in the dot-com bubble. It's like, oh, it's all going to zero, I'm getting out. And then 2 years later, this thing starts to go up. And if you just held on, you know, Amazon is a titan at this stage. Now, the cool thing with DeFi is that to make these exponential gains, you don't have to wait 20 years. It can happen much, much faster. Just a quick message. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That does help the channel as well as help bring brand awareness to all Forex Shark related projects. Thanks. And I believe Drip will turn around with all this development. And the other reason I brought this up is because if we zoom into the chart here, I don't really like this chart, but it just happens to be the one that was up. I look at this, we're like literally last year, almost a year ago to the date, we were sitting at about the price we're sitting at now, $6.47. Right now we're sitting at around 7. Maybe by the September 28th, we might be at the same price. But if you follow this trend, I believe we're about to do the exact same thing. So this could be pushed out to the Animal Farm launch date of the 15th of October, and we could very much see a $20 drip price. Literally, this was $23. And then this goes into the new drip UIs, goes into Scratchy and all this stuff. And then all the other use cases, the Dogs Roulette and the Dogs of Fortune game. So I believe we will see this exact same thing. History repeat itself, but it should be even more bullish with the new marketing and the number of people on board. So when you come back over here, I believe we're in the exact same place. Like I said, around the 6s. So I brought all that up and wanted to compare and show, you know, what Amazon did and just showing you what an innovative person can do in the space. And if you just happen to strap in for the ride and YOLO and HODL, then I believe this will be an opportunity for life-changing gains. Not financial advice, of course, but got to kind of, if you're not looking to trade or you're not looking to go into traditional finance, making your 5 to 10% a year if you're lucky, then you're in crypto for the gains. And if you want the gains, you got to take the volatility, you got to take the FUD, you got to take the risk. So it is much more high risk than the traditional financial sector, but it comes with exponential reward. So with great risk comes great reward. And I believe that Drip in some cases can be low risk, as Forex mentioned in his previous AMA, but you don't know what the price of the token will be. So your value or price can still be at risk, but even though it's secured in the contract. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. Definitely read up on, you know, Amazon, their rags to riches story. Netflix has a great one. I think it's called This Will Never Work. There's another one by Starbucks. Like all these amazing companies that I've read books on via Audible, they all follow a similar path. They all pretty much they bet big, went broke, or almost lost the company, and then had to bring it back from the ashes like a phoenix. And I believe that's where we're at now, because Forex has that same level of conviction and innovation as some of these other great entrepreneurial minds in the space. So anyway, like and subscribe, push the 3K, lift daily, and achieve your impossible. See you guys.